Welcome to This Week in Jump, number 8. I'm Turo,
And I'm Ryan.
and this week I got my list ready, and we're missing a couple of series this week, Dr. Stone and Haikyuu. Yes.
Those are
Thank you.
both on hiatus this week,
Yes.
so no new chapters.
So we have a slightly smaller list with 15, and we're going to start off with Food Wars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting, just more hype on top of hype on top of hype. We've been waiting for this tournament to hurry up and get Soma at the end of his bracket fighting against Saiba. And Arena on the other side of the bracket just clearing through everyone. No need for names or introductions or personalities. Arena's going to win that other side. They already have her there at the semifinals. Whereas Soma and pals have really needed to try a lot. There's been a lot of underhanded tactics by the Noir and Saiba, just beating everyone by showing them I can do things you'll never be able to do.
By
Next.
using the cross knives.
Yeah, cross knives and getting those techniques, and you get some flashbacks to Saiba and Soma's dad, which is
Joichiro.
Joichiro, and you also see where Joichiro loses
Yep.
to Saiba. Okay, that's pretty interesting. You have one of, his knives. So you're going up, oh, I'm going to make you go up against your dad and his kind of techniques. It's like, I go up against them all the time. I always try to beat him. That's nothing new. If you had paid any attention to Soma and not just looked at yourself in Arena, you could have outplayed Yukihara so easily. But no, because you didn't pay any attention to him, you gave him the best fire you could light underneath his belly. And I put this at the lowest because we still don't even get a start to this battle.
It's hype.
It's more hype. I wanted them just to start already. Because I think this might be one of the final chapters we get to see of actual cooking.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to see the final battle if it's between Soma and Arena. If he does win, or Saiba and Arena. If Saiba wins, I don't think we'll see that final round. A lot of speculation about that, just from how this comes off. And like I've been saying, I feel like it's just going to rush to an end, and that's going to be it. But yeah, you do see all the people in the crowd. You see that it was the Polaris dorms, all the people that have been staying there.
I remember her name, Nikumi.
Oh, the meat girl.
Yes.
Yeah. So
She was
it's going to be a final battle of putting all 5 different cuisines into one meal, which hopefully will be interesting. I hope it's at least a little bit more of a battle.
Yeah, and 5 different kind of cuisine. You can already see in real life. We use these techniques all the time. Whenever we have fish and I don't want it fried, my mom uses some French techniques to cook it, and then we use a lot of different seasonings and pairings to make it very, I guess you could say, Indian in nature with the way we make it. So you can already see that a lot of dishes. This is adding this is combining French, Chinese, Turkish, Indian, and Italian
into one dish.
A lot of these you can kind of see with a lot of risottos, some aiolis, a lot of rice-based dishes incorporate a lot of these already. Also combining with that, this is manga, rice is a good staple around the world. It has a certain tie with a lot of anime and manga as just being rice being a staple. I think that's going to be the main thing on one of their dishes.
A rice steam.
Yeah, a rice thing.
There's a good possibility. At least it ends on him getting gussied up. That's the only highlight, is him just looking ready to do battle, maybe for the last time in this manga.
Yeah, maybe. We don't even know. We're just speculating. Alrighty. Have number 14, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs.
Chapter 153.
We have a lot of twists and turns in this chapter. We start off with Yuna being able to manifest a
talisman.
A talisman or magic item that teleports you to the inn. But it also, she adds this in at the end, that it can teleport someone to you as well. Like, okay, well, why didn't you start that, and like, for, in case they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So we have someone just outright say, bring in Kogarashi. There we go. And he's getting dressed, and he just shows up, and he
gets a face full of chest because reasons.
Because of plot. And he gets thrown around the springs, falling and being in places that he shouldn't be in.
Very typical fashion for this type of manga.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. But no one's really mad, no one's really that ashamed, and I think this is because Yuna brings up that Oboro kind of putting that idea out there about everyone's kind of feelings. Made it so that they're not mad. This just happens, and it's okay. It's embarrassing, but it's still okay. It's very sweet in that nature. Like everyone's getting along.
We have them then all go inside, and we have a tea scene discussing the events that just happened.
Yeah, and they Yuna gives out a very friendly kind of idea. Like, let's all just be in the main hall and just all sleep together, like all under the same roof, all in the same room. Like, that's really nice. And Yuna gets to, or boasts that she can now sleep anywhere in
the
inn. It's like, great. It's like, okay, that's good for you, but it's making you somewhat less special. You're no longer just like bound.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not an earthbound spirit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's bound to now a complete inn rather than just a room.
Yeah. So everyone is kind of talking as they're trying to sleep, just really relaxing, just having some nice conversations, and it's Yuna has very bad sleeping patterns, and even now that she can move around, she moves around a little bit too much, and she's feeling someone that's groping her.
She doesn't recognize the hands, basically. She's like, who is this?
Like, oh, it might be one of the girls, maybe. But no, it's
Kogarashi, as a kid, who happens to see her partially undressed and freaks out.
Yep.
Leading to further hijinks.
Yeah. So he's
a kid!
He's a kid.
Again.
He bumps into another girl. She is also a kid. And another.
And another.
And another.
And another.
Everyone but Yuna has been reverted back into a child. For some reason. Literally, that's our cliffhanger. Is how did everyone turn into kids? Like, that's our cliffhanger. No climactic battle, no waiting for this near final Shokugeki to go through. Like like how this happened. Like this one is got this low just oh in part of this kind of cliffhanger. It really right now does not leave a good taste in my mouth.
The closest I see to why this happened is you see the Fountain of Youth. That's what it was. You see it fall over just before morning and just before Yuno wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
It falls down. And it's assumed that somehow that has to do with them being turned into children. Or they're like 10, except for Nanko, which kind of looks like she's still like a teenager.
Yeah. Well, also the mangaka artist also lost several years. Because that's her, right?
Yeah, Nanko.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of girls.
There's a lot of names.
There's a lot of names. I am terrible with names.
Yeah, I usually have
if you
to...
haven't figured it out by now.
There's... Like I said, like trying to remember 1,000 names is almost impossible. Like, there's very few series where I can remember every single... or most of every single character. But I'm not going to remember every tertiary character.
I think we can... Between both of us, I think we can name about 1,000 different Yu-Gi-Oh cards, though.
Yeah. Probably. But, yeah, that yeah.
I don't even know where that Fountain of Youth spilled.
It looks like it spilled in a storehouse,
which still doesn't make sense to me. Like this is what irked me about this one. But
we'll see what they did and why, because they were saying that it was probably going to be an underhanded tactic from the Yonazaka, because they've been the ones been trying to mess with the power balance.
Yeah,
so it probably has something to do with that.
Finding a way to weaken Kogarashi.
Yes. Because they can't beat him at 1 billion when he's with Yuno.
Yeah, Alrighty. After that, we have the last Sayuki.
Okay.
We're getting into some really creepy and
I like it.
Interesting stuff. We have Shige. Shige. He's very much in fear of what's going to happen. I think the wrong thing to do was leave Shige alone while they conversed with everyone else. I thought he was just going to straight up die. It's this low for neglecting this child that could have died at any second.
And released his Mu.
And released his Mu to create a demon. But we have, what is it, Koharu? Koharu is convinced to use her power for good.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially open up his Mu box, not forcefully, but persuasively, to tell Shige, look in front of you, that's where it is. Essentially. And he looks and he is utterly terrified.
The father said that it was from the Tales of Momo. And this is the Nura Hiron from that version of... Because there's different versions of that creature. So that way they would know what powers it had. That way they would know how to combat it and defeat it.
Yeah, and in this case, it looks like his father, as soon as it materializes, he's going to attack. If he can get it in the first attack, then problem solved right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't.
Nope.
His extending pole pierces through this monster's head, but it acts as though it's unaffected.
Yeah, if it wants to attack, it would have to materialize into this realm. She is tangibility. There we go.
Yes, the tangibility in this world. So we have this monster getting ready to attack. We know it's coming, and we know as soon as the blade and the pole connect, that's the exact point that he needs to be taken down. Not just hit, he needs to be taken down immediately. So that's when we have Ryunosuke hiding so far back. He has such control of the pole. He immediately uses it to utterly destroy the head off of this monster from the other room. I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
This father and Ryunosuke working together like this, even with Koharu, I thought like happened yesterday or a couple days ago. But they have pretty good synergy between all three of them.
Yeah, for something last minute.
Because they were all working together, Shige essentially said that Koharu is a friend.
Well, she also gets complimented by him by saying that she is like Ryunosuke.
Yeah.
And that just makes her blush.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys really are siblings.
Yeah,
Basically.
it's really nice. But then we have the father. He brings out an item which looks like a Rubik's Cube with only 4 sides. But it's a box that contains a creature, the yang part of the yin yang.
Yeah.
That's all it has. But then it looks like it might have a nose and like an eyeball.
I was thinking that it was alive, and that was supposed to be the eye. The dark dot with a circle around it looks like it's supposed to be like it's sentient.
Yeah. It also looks like the de-evolution spray from Pokemon, the trading card game. And I can't get that out of my head. I don't know.
What do you got next for us?
I've got Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh, you committed that one to memory.
Finally. Guess what I didn't, though? Main character's name.
Tanjiro.
Tanjiro is able to see in combat
Transparent world.
the transparent world. Me, just learning about this as a concept. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, because you have very little context. You just have what basically since we started doing this series.
Just about 10 chapters or so.
It's dope.
It's really cool. We have Tanjiro, just fighting, and he's able to really slow the flow of combat down just with his eyes. He's looking at things very closely for when it's his turn to really act, and he's essentially just protecting himself and kind of blending into the woodwork. Because
the upper moon Akaza?
Yeah, the upper moon is just, for whatever reason, just utterly destroying Gyu, sorry. And then he lets out a area of effect attack that just goes and creates carnage all the way around. Gyu gets hit very heavily, but Tanjiro, he's fine. The upper moon doesn't even notice that he's a threat, that he's still there. For some reason, he doesn't realize that he is there. I don't think a upper moon would say, "Oh, where'd this enemy go?" He would be cautious of someone just disappearing. But he doesn't. He just kind of lets this kind of go. And Tanjiro's able to get behind him, and instead of chopping off his head right away, he reveals himself. Like, why are you doing this? Because you know exactly what he's going to do if he gets that kind of reaction. Based off of that, you can plan your next attack. And that's actually really smart. Because you don't know, like, oh, I know he's back there.
He might just turn around and attack anyway.
And break his sword.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He's going for as much planning as he's able to do. Just as his father only attacked that bear once he knew the swipe was coming. Once he knew that those claws were coming, that's when he went for that attack. And he does something very similar. This one is only a single slice. That, at least from what we can see right now, it looks just like a single slice. But the upper moon's head, straight off.
And I don't think he had enough time to cut his own head off. Because that's also something they've shown to been able to do, is that the moons have the ability, if they sever their own head, they're able to still regrow and regenerate and reattach themselves. But since it was separated without that advanced knowledge, this might be the end for Akaza. With just the sword looks so cool on fire.
Yeah.
It really does. So I'm glad that was higher on your list, because you have limited context.
Yes.
I'm glad you're seeing the light.
We get some happier tones now.
Oh, we're going to slice of life stuff now.
We're going to We Never Learn.
Slice of life.
So we have Naruyuki, trying to tell his family, like, oh, I have found my college. I have found what I want to do in life. And he's just so lovey-dovey with his family, he just can't do it. He just can't.
Nope.
So he goes. We have Uruka, kind of doing her thing. Sports, teaching little kids, but might be a little bit too advanced for them. But since she's showing off, she's really getting, some admirers. She's getting, some renown.
In particular, Naruyuki's sister Mizuki,
Yeah,
who happened to be at the school that Uruka was going to.
yeah, and that's really nice. She already has the favor of the family. Like, this is best girl.
Best girl.
This is best girl.
Well, she's known him the longest, so that would also make sense.
Yeah.
I could see it.
And we get a chapter that focuses more on them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these underlying tones that Uruka is placing forward for Naruyuki is just out of the bottom of her heart. And
Well, she cares a lot for him.
I just really liked it. You saw what I saw.
Yeah, the flashback, the very brief flashback of the
last
risque picture that he gets.
Yeah,
The last interaction they had on, other than they've had several interactions, but this is like one that probably sticks out in his mind, is the brief, 2 seconds he saw the image that was sent of her posing
really cute.
Yes.
They have some, alone time where they're just talking, eating, making jokes, just having fun and enjoying each other's company. It's really nice.
While using the pretense of studying.
Yeah, which they're not.
Not really, no. They start playing footsie. Well, more she starts playing footsie with him.
Yeah.
I actually got this image of the secret technique foot massage, and I put that on my Tumblr as as an image. I was like,
that was great.
We never learn blurb.
Yeah, check out the Tumblr.
It's not official. It's just under my personal Tumblr.
Go check it out. It's good.
Link in the description.
But yeah, there's just a lot of comedy. There's a lot of care that Uruka's really showing Naruyuki, and she kind of explains, oh yeah, what we were eating is helping to revitalize your immune system. We're sitting at a heated table so that you're really comfortable. We watch some comedy to laughing helps in so many more ways that people really let on, mentally as well as physically.
Yes.
She's doing all of this for him because
He doesn't relax.
he doesn't. He's always, I wouldn't say serious, but always focused.
Yes.
One thing after another, one girl after another, he's always focused.
And then she brings up the fact about his dad being an educator. And that's the line of work that he wants to go into.
Yeah.
I guess he got the bug from being a tutor, so it kind of got in his head that he's really good at this and he likes seeing people happy. So I think he's getting gratification out of that. So that's why I think he wanted to shift his focus into that.
Yeah. I definitely know some people, because I used to be a tutor.
Yeah.
I know some people from that job that went on to be full-on just teachers, because that's what they found out, that's what they want to do.
Towards the end, she holds his hands and says that if she has to, she'll support us. And for a moment, he looks stunned, and then in his head, he's like, yeah, us? And yes. And then it gets awkward. Attack him with secret foot massage.
Also, when she says, I'll pay for us,"
Yeah.
he immediately says, "Uh-huh," like agreeing to it.
Yeah.
So this makes her blush. It makes them both blush even more. I love it. I just love it.
And then he goes home because he's going to finally tell them. But nobody's there. But wait!
I didn't know who this was.
Sensei.
That's who I thought it was, but it doesn't make sense why she's there. For me.
I have a hypothesis
taking a shower there.
I think she maybe had to leave her apartment for whatever reason, and she just happened to be there because I don't know what his family situation is. Also, if his dad was her educator, because as far as we know, he might be. Maybe she knows about the house, so that's why she was there. That's the only thing I can come up with. And your students.
Don't go into your students' homes and take a shower.
Not
just saying.
Yeah, it's not practical. I mean, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, so,
I thought that was pretty good.
All right. After that, we have Neolation.
Okay.
We're still in this flashback and character building moment for Neo, or what was it, Arata? I actually remembered this one.
It's 5 letters.
Yes. I forgot her name.
Tabari, sorry.
Tabari. Just playing what looks like Tetris. But no, Arata made this himself. He's learning to program and make things on the computer. Kind of to show to her, to boast, but mostly for her.
She doesn't believe him at first, and he has to turn the things pink, and then she believes him.
Yeah, like this is so amazing. Like you're really, kind of like a wizard. You can make really anything happen.
Well, at this point, she refers to him as a genius.
That's genius.
It's genius.
Which, yeah,
he
kind of
genius.
is. He was doing math. He was doing 4-digit long addition for fun.
Yeah, and that's before going to school.
Yeah. Instead of, being weird, he's now being touted as a genius. Like, my friend's really cool. So, he loves that kind of satisfaction, gratification, that he's just going to keep doing it. He's just going to keep reading, keep learning as much as he can, and he's going to keep visiting his friend.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to keep visiting Tomari.
We see a passage of time.
We don't exactly know how many years, but it's been quite a few.
Well, they said that he's in grade school now, although I can't really tell how old he is.
Yeah.
I can't tell if he's supposed to be a first grader or if he's supposed to be, like, in 3rd grade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. Or maybe even older. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, in Japan, it's, like, up to 6th grade for grade school, so...
Yeah. And we have, just another day of where they're relaxing. They're Arata's showing her a couple more things, like, oh, you want to take a look at my school? Like we can see it through the security cameras. like, hey, do you want me to commit a small hacking crime?
Nonchalant.
Yeah. So they see, oh, empty hallways. Oh, look, the security guard is just patrolling with his flashlight. That's neat. Just watching him, and they were okay with just watching him for several minutes. But then Arata notices
A burglar.
Someone who's obviously not a teacher.
Well, he's climbing in from a window.
Yeah. Like, who is this? And kind of also for the safety of the security guard, he's on the other side of the school.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get away unless, he does something. But he doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want his IP address to be traced back. Also, oh, how did you know? Were you at the school? Like, no, I was looking through the cameras.
You can't exactly tell that to the security firm.
Yeah, maybe one of the books he saw was a book in criminal justice.
And then it's at this point that the person's apprehended, And then she calls him a wizard.
Yeah.
Harry.
You're a wizard, Arata.
Sorry, a modern day wizard.
Yeah.
But a wizard nonetheless.
Technological wizard.
Well, and it's like when people say you're a tech whiz. Haha. Well, because if you were to take a smartphone to somebody from the 1500s, they would think you're a wizard because you're pulling up different things on your screen until your phone dies and you have no way of charging it.
Yeah.
But through all of his learning, he was able to also find out that she had a disease. Because she tells him that he has a bright future ahead of him, or a shining future.
Like, that part got to me. Just
It was depressing.
looking at her balcony where, he met her. Like, will you be part of that future?
Mm-hmm.
Like, ouch. If he's really, as good as she says he is, he should be able to do something. So he does something I was not expecting. I'm going to hack into this hospital/research lab that is currently working on researching treatments for her specific disease. He doesn't give them any hints. He doesn't give them access to other sources. He doesn't even ask them for help. He releases their research to the world.
Yes.
So that anyone and everyone has access to their information. So that means everyone on the world has the ability to work on a better cure, to work on a better treatment.
Yeah, it speeds up the research process because if you have more information, somebody's already done the legwork for you. It's the same reason why we're able to look up things on the internet as it is now, and people 50 years ago would have to go to a library, but we have it at our fingertips.
Yeah. They would have to go to a library, use the copier machine, and spend money to do so. Now we spend money on our phones to do just that, to be able to have an aggregation of information at our fingertips. And at his fingertips now, Arata he calls this a spell to manipulate time.
Yeah. And he's actually typing so fast that his fingers are bleeding.
Yeah. This is
He's super
crazy.
serious. I love that closing. I thought that was a very good close.
Yeah.
For that.
Alright, that'll wrap up This Week in Jump Part 1. Look out for Part 2 soon.